Yeah?
Yeah.
So yeah, the beta's out on PlayStation. Well, it's out on everything now, but we've been playing on PlayStation 4. The beta is essentially what you get in the alpha, plus I think 3 extra story missions. Is that right?
That sounds right to me.
Yeah, and bit more polish. It looks a bit nicer. A bit more content. I think there's a bit more kit and stuff like that. But if you played the alpha, you kind of know what to expect here. And first things first, I absolutely love it. I mean, I really absolutely love it. It's a game that I have put onto the free roam mode that you unlock. You can free roam around this area called Old Russia, which is a decent sized open world area, and there's loads of baddies that just keep spawning in or coming in dropships, and you can just shoot them forever. It's kind of like a grindy thing. There's little missions you can do in that area. But I've just played that for ages, just doing that, because I just enjoy the combat so much. It's kind of like an advanced version of Halo's combat, because the characters have these superpowers that charge as you get kills. The bar charges up, and then you can unlock them. The one I have is called the Hunter, and he has this special gun that shoots these. It's basically like flares. They're really cool, but the other 2 classes, one has a big Hulk smasher who jumps in the air and smashes the ground and everything goes flying. Another one has like a fireball. I haven't played with that one yet. But yeah, it feels like Halo. I've said this before. The combat feels like Halo. The AI feels like Halo. It has that feel that Bungie have nailed and nobody else has ever really got close to. And then, yeah, the 3 extra story missions were all fun. They were quite short. They're more like introductory stuff. This feels like it is the beginning of the game, so it's more kind of taking you through how the game works, because everyone understands how running around shooting things works in a Bungie game, but obviously this is a MMO effectively, so it's kind of introducing people like me, really, who haven't really got any experience with MMOs into how these things work. And it does a fairly good job in that, it kind of explaining how these are the story missions, this is the open world, here's the loot. These public events can happen while you're in the open world, where the screen goes black and it's really dramatic. Then something will drop in one area. Everyone has to, because there's other people around when you're in the open world, just people that aren't in your co-op team, just random players. And suddenly everyone will turn their attention in this giant tank that drops in, and you have to take out in a certain time limit. Or there's one where you have to defend a weird like asteroid thing that drops. I'm not 100% too sure what it is. There's another one where a really tough enemy drops in and you have to kill him in a certain amount of time before he runs off. Those are all really good fun. Very cool. And then on top of that you have multiplayer, which I haven't played a huge amount of. I'm not too sure how well balanced it is now, but it's like a domination mode at the moment. Good fun, but one of the vehicles is really overpowered at the moment, and that's kind of put me off playing that. But Bungie know how to make multiplayer game. Whether they know how to make a multiplayer game as well as Respawn, I'm not sure. But it's the other stuff that's really got me excited about the game. The world building is amazing from a technical and kind of a story is the wrong word, because if you were to break down the individual lines of dialogue, and the story is kind of both kind of cliched and done, but Bungie stuff always elevates above that. I mean, the Halo story itself is I've never really been able to follow it, but it's more just a kind of an essence that those games have, and I think so much of it comes from the music that makes everything feel grand, yet almost, I don't know, it feels like it wants you to come to its party and be its friend. You know, you're all on a kind of a journey together, and it does that. I mean, something that Halo's always done, and Destiny, it has that from the opening bars of the music, quite frankly. And it doesn't bore you or kind of languish on huge amounts of backstory. There is a couple of cutscenes in the beta. And that stuff is, you kind of take it or leave it, really. But it kind of transcends that just by creating this atmosphere and the sound design and everything like that. And I love being in that space, even when you just break up the illusion of seriousness by just dancing with a bunch of people all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like, Bungie games they've always straddled that line between being kind of daft and kind of serious. One of the first things that happens in the second level, the first proper level of Halo, if Halo is the fucking, you run around the corner and a bunch of grunts start squeaking and running away like weird little balloon clowns. And I was thinking, what the fuck is this game? Destiny kind of has that similar sense of humour. But overall, I'm blown away. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the final version of this game. This game's going to ruin me. It's going to take all my time. I know it. Bungie, for me, you've absolutely delivered. I'm interested to hear your take, though, because we talked briefly on text this morning, and I know you were a bit pissed off by the kind of strike mission, but I want to hear your talk about it until to kind of see what you have to say.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, did you get to the bottom of the fact that, for some reason in the alpha, strike teams could be 4 people, and in the beta they could only be 3? Is that going?
To be honest, and I'm sure I'm wrong, I thought they were also 3 in the alpha, because there was 3 classes. So, but I might well be wrong. I don't know. But as far as I'm aware, it's 3. But
in the alpha, I definitely played the game with 3 other people.
I know you can play multiplayer with 6.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't.
It was okay. Like I said, I'm sure I'm wrong because I didn't really play with other people in the alpha.
That was curious. I don't know whether that's an indication of where they're going with it, or whether that's just something. I don't know. It would be curious to me if they focused on 3-player strike teams rather than 4, because 4 is just the natural avenue to go down. As soon as I started playing the beta, I would it feels so great. I wasn't going to start playing it because I didn't want to spoil it. I want to be sort of fresh when the actual game comes out, but I couldn't resist eventually, and it feels great straight away. It looks amazing. I mean, Bungie promised that it would look better than the alpha did, and oh boy, does it. Yeah. I think it's not quite a quantum leap, but it's definitely significantly more lush than the alpha was. What I'm primarily worried about is the bosses. In the beta, you fight this big spider boss, and that boss has several different attacks that you have to plan against. And you basically dismantle it piece by piece, and it's a process that takes half an hour or just under. But it's bracing. You're communicating. You're doing bits and pieces. It's an epic piece of the game. But after that, you fight this big purple sphere, and it had the most obscenely large health bar. And it took the best part of half an hour to kill it. And I'm not entirely sold on the idea of battling a bullet sponge for half an hour of my life. I mean, there were attacks that we could use that were more powerful than others. It would sort of expand a little bit, and then you could throw grenades in there, but it had no unique attacks to sort of battle against, or tells to take advantage of. I don't know. I just that boss immediately after the spider, I just thought,
yeah,
this is half an hour of my life we're talking about. I mean, I do like the fact that there's a countdown to respawning. So I was playing with 2 other people, and if there's 1 player left, you're just screaming at him to go and hide. But I can see you're just there. I'm going to come. No, don't go and hide. Come on, I'm respawning 3. The drama that comes from that system is. I mean, throughout the whole time we were playing, that's one of the best things about the game. Trying to make sure that you don't blow a respawn by one of your guys trying to come and pick you up. But that boss, I just thought it took almost half an hour of just shooting, going and hiding, shooting, waves of enemies, kill them all, shooting. I just thought that if that happens more than once, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed.
Well, what I will say about that is 2 things. First, that's a strike. It's a strike mission, as they're called in the game. It's not part of the story. It's like a very specific, siphoned off type of thing that you choose to go and do with other people, and it's deliberately hard, and I think the bosses is deliberately overpowered. So there's that for one. So if we were just playing through the story, I don't think it's going to be like that. I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be like that. With regards to when we did, I did it with the same 2 people you did, and it did take us a similar amount of time to do that purple ball. I enjoyed all of it, but I did have the feeling in the back of my mind. But about probably 10 minutes before the end, we figured out, one of us figured out that sniper shots were doing an incredible amount more damage than anything else. And so when I switched to the sniper and another person had the sniper, we basically took half of its health bar down in the last 5 minutes. And I actually went on YouTube and I've watched a guy with 2 other people do that whole boss in 5 minutes, and the spider tank boss in about 5 minutes as well. So it was. I think those sections are going to be more about finding the exact right tactics to beat those things, and then once you do, focusing on that as a team. I'm not necessarily justifying what that boss was. I don't think it was great anyway. Although I did have, it was great fun. There was no point where I wasn't having fun or it wasn't exciting. But yeah, I mean, those strike missions are separate from, you know, the natural flow of the narrative of the game. So yeah, I'm not sure if, I mean, I'm sure they're going to play with the balance and all that sort of stuff. But I think if you're worried about that being a part of playing Destiny as a, you know, from A to B to get to from the beginning to the end of the story, I don't think it's going to be like that. But
it wasn't. I have no problem with the difficulty. It's just the spider. We were blowing. You know, we were focusing on different legs.
Yeah.
And it would focus on one of us. A couple of us were running around the back. Pop, pop, pop. It would spit. You know, we were using tactics and we were strategizing. This thing, walk behind the wall, shoot the thing. Walk behind the wall, shoot the thing. I just thought, this is just a bullet sponge.
Yeah, but
if they do it more than once, I'm going to be really disappointed.
With that.
I mean,
with that boss, though, I mean, I think what you're supposed to do is one person distracts it while other two. You have to snipe right in the middle where you get the critical hit, and every time you do that, you get about 400 damage. Where if you just pop in with your gun, you're getting about 1. And if you can concentrate doing that and making sure you clear out the. Yeah, I'm not justifying. I didn't think it was amazing or anything like that, but I do wonder if we went and did it again. I think we could take that thing out in 5-6 minutes easily.
Maybe so. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just the fact that it didn't see. I mean, going from a really, really great, well structured, compelling boss battle to one that just felt like it was just there to be there. That was kind of all I felt after that boss battle was that I hope there are not more encounters like this in the game, because that will really kind of ruin it for me. Where we weren't really strategizing. I mean, we were just running around corners and then running back. You know, I don't know. At the end of the day, a beta is never supposed to be a definitive representation of the final game. I mean, I'm hugely encouraged by it. I mean, same as I was with the alpha. I cannot wait to play the game, and that's why I didn't want to play the beta. I didn't want to spoil it as such. But I just want the full thing now.
Yeah, I do.